Hello, everybody, and welcome to For You. I'm Reese.
I'm Nikki.
And here today we're talking to you guys about a strange condition, something that affects a few people, and it's to do with the way we speak, right? It's called stuttering. If you've ever heard of this, maybe you yourself have had experience, or perhaps one of your friends has had some trouble with stuttering. It's relatively common. It's not like a super rare condition, but it's one that can really be quite annoying for the people that have it.
It's not like a disease or something, but it might be troubling.
Yeah, it could kind of get in the way of your daily interactions. And so the article today will tell us more about stuttering, but as a brief introduction, it's when you have a problem with your speech, you might get caught on some of the words or sounds that you make. And it's the reason for this is not 100% sure, right? It could be many different reasons for why you would stutter. But let's read the article and find out what stuttering is and maybe how we can help people who have a stutter.
Reading.
Here are the facts about stuttering. Stuttering is a problem that makes it difficult for a person to speak smoothly. People who stutter repeat things when they speak, have trouble when getting words out, and make some words longer. Their face muscles may also tighten. Stuttering is more common in children, when their vocabulary is developing. Many adults also stutter, however, and it happens more in males than females. Stuttering makes it difficult for a person to speak. For example, when stutterers say the word today, it might come out like today. People who stutter may also stretch out words. For instance, they might say, I'm going to school. They may also repeat phrases. They could say, before I go out, I need to put on my shoes. In some social situations, stuttering can get worse. This might include speaking in front of a group or talking on the phone. On the other hand, activities such as singing and reading aloud can help make it better.
So the article introduces our subject. Stuttering is a problem that makes it difficult for a person to speak smoothly. Yeah, stuttering is when something starts and stops repeatedly and very quickly. Usually we use the word stutter for sound or video, but most commonly we use it for speaking. It's a speech problem that makes it difficult for some people to speak, and we'll hear some examples of it later.
今天的课文呢，就要跟我们介绍口疾 stuttering 这件事情。If you stutter, that means you cannot finish a phrase or a word without repeating the first sound of it. 那它的动词呢，就会是 stutter, and a person who stutters, it's called a stutterer.
Yeah, and actually I think the word stutter is a hard word to say even if you don't have a stutter. Stutter. Yeah, very difficult. So stutterers struggle to speak smoothly. The word smoothly is an adverb which means easily or without problem or difficulty. If something happens smoothly, that means it happens without hitting any problems or mistakes. Everything goes as planned in a good way. So if you say something smoothly, you say it in a calm and confident way. If you have a stutter, you can't speak smoothly. Here's an example sentence. Boris is a great speaker. He speaks smoothly with a clear voice.
所以课文呢就告诉我们说，口疾呢其实就是一个会让人很难流畅说话的问题。Smoothly 是副词，指的就是流畅地或者是顺畅地。那首先呢，我们看到 smooth 这个字，它是一个形容词，不但可以表示某件事情很顺畅，也可以用来说一个东西是很光滑的。For example, I can say, I use a lot of skin products to get smooth skin. Or my presentation was smooth. My presentation went smoothly. I did not forget anything. 这篇课文我们看到 stuttering is a problem that makes it difficult for a person to speak smoothly. 这边的文法呢 somebody 一个主词 make, find, believe, consider 或者是 think, it 这边是一个虚受词再加上一个 adjective for somebody to do something. 在这个文法里面呢 it 它是虚受词取代的是后面有不定词 to be to do something 所形成的真受词。那 it 之后的形容词呢就会是受词补语，用来补充前面的说明前面的受词。那这边有一个例句说 I find it easy to fall asleep after I take a hot bath. 我发现洗个热水澡之后会很好入睡。又或者是 Lisa believes it best to arrive at the airport 3 hours before your flight. Lisa 觉得说在航班前3个小时抵达机场会是最好的。或者是 Hundreds of years ago, many people believed it impossible for humans to ever visit the moon. 几百年前很多人都觉得说人类不可能登上月球。又或者是 Jacob considers it annoying to have to take a crowded train to work. Jacob 认为说要坐一个很拥挤的火车去上班很烦人 considers it annoying.
So the article continues to tell us more about stuttering. People who stutter repeat things when they speak, have trouble when getting words out, and make some words longer. Their face muscles may also tighten. Oof, it sounds like a very unpleasant thing to experience. So the article said that their face muscles may tighten. Muscles are the things in your body that give you the power to move, lift things, and just be a person. Usually, when we think of muscles, we think of big ones like biceps and pectorals. But actually, there are hundreds or even thousands of tiny muscles in our bodies that help us do everything, including walking around, lifting things, and even smiling or breathing. We need muscles to do all of those things. Here's an example sentence. The muscles in my legs are very sore from hiking all day yesterday.
接着课文就说会口疾的人通常都有一些常见的症状，而且他们脸部的肌肉呢会变得紧绷。Muscle 是名词，意思就是肌肉。Normally, if you want to build muscle, you will have to work out or lift weight. But before you do any kind of exercise, you need to stretch first. Otherwise, you might pull a muscle.
Ooh, painful.
所以就说在我们运动之前呢，都要先伸展一下，不然的话就很容易会拉伤或者是受伤。
Exactly. Now, the article said that muscles in their face may tighten. Let's take a look at this word. The word tighten is a verb, and it means to get tighter, being the opposite of loosen. Tight is an adjective, and tight is when something is fixed in position. That thing is hard to move or change its position. Muscles are usually quite loose and you can move them around easily. But if your muscles get tight, they might feel stiff and painful. The verb to tighten means to get tighter. Other things can tighten too, like a knot tied with string. If you pull on both ends, it will get tighter and tighter. It will tighten. Or a metal screw in a machine. If you keep screwing it, it will get tighter. It will tighten. Here's an example sentence. When Emma watched the scary movie, her muscles tightened in fear.
再来看到 tighten 这个字，在英文里面呢，通常会有一个形容词加上一个 suffix en， 然后把它变成动词的用法，那就是使得或者是变成怎么样的意思。像是 dark 就会变成 darken， 变黑或是变暗。那或是 sharp 变成 sharpen， 就是使得变尖锐或者是变锐利的意思。那在这边课文呢，就提到了 tighten， 也就是 tight 紧的，变成使得肌肉紧绷的意思。When we say tighten your belt, it means that you need to spend less money.
Tighten your belt. I need to do that sometimes. Well, back to the article and more about where stuttering is found. Stuttering is more common in children when their vocabulary is developing. Many adults also stutter, however, and it happens more in males than females. So it's more common in younger people and in men. Yeah, so I'm more at risk than Nikki. Well, let's have a look at this word vocabulary, which is related to words, because that's exactly what vocabulary means. Words, the words that you know or that exist in a language. Vocabulary is any kind of words, nouns, verbs, adjectives, and the bigger your vocabulary, the more of a language you can speak. When you're learning a language, you might have a vocabulary list, words that you want to learn. Children learn new words every day, and because of that, their vocabulary is growing. You might hear us use this word, vocabulary, when we're teaching. They're the words that we choose from the article that we think are useful for you to learn. Here's an example sentence. I learned Spanish for 1 year in high school, but now I only remember a few vocabulary words.
Such as?
Hola. Agua.
Agua.
It's water.
Water.
Yeah.
好，那接着课文呢，就告诉我们，口疾其实是更容易发生在小朋友身上的，因为他们的词汇、单字都还在发展当中。Vocabulary 是名词，指的就是单字或者是词汇。Or we can use the word lexicon. It means all the vocabularies and phrases that a person knows. 那这些单字呢，都会有词性 nouns, verbs, and adjectives. And these we call them part of speech. 词性。那很多成年人也都会口疾，那尤其是男性的人数会比女性来得多。
When I was learning Chinese, I thought that vocabulary was one of the easier parts to learn. The grammar is more difficult and also pronunciation.
But the tones, though.
Oh, that's so hard, yeah. But vocabulary wasn't too hard, and now my Chinese vocabulary is growing every day. Well, back to the article, stuttering makes it difficult for a person to speak. For example, when stutterers say the word today, it might come out like today. Yeah, and it's very frustrating for those people because they know what they want to say.
But they just can't.
But they just can't say it. The article explains more. People who stutter may also stretch out words. That means make them longer. For instance, they might say, I'm going to school.
Where are you going? I'm going to school.
Yeah.
那口疾呢，其实是会让一个人很难一次到位的把话讲完，那可能会听起来像是一直在重复。Come out 除了出来之外呢，如果我们是讲话或者是诠释某个东西，比较延伸的意思呢，就会是说成或者是被听成、被理解成的意思。也就是说，在口疾的时候呢 ，today 可能就会变成 today。那除了这样之外，口疾的人也可能会拉长音讲话，就是说把一个字的母音拉得特别长。For instance 的意思呢，在这里就是举例来说 ，for example 例如的意思。
Yeah, so it's not only repeating sounds or making words longer, there are more problems for stutterers. The article explains they may also repeat phrases. They could say, before I go out, I need to put on my shoes. So for a person who stutters, it could take them a very long time to explain what they're trying to say. And that's unfortunate. So the article explained that it's not just words that get repeated or sounds, but sometimes phrases. A phrase is a group of words that express a single idea or action. A phrase might be needed to explain more than what just one word can explain, including more details about time, etc. So a word is something like, about, that is a word, but a phrase could be about time. If you're late to work, I say it's about time that you got here. About time is a phrase that has a single meaning. Here's another example. The meaning of any phrase can change if you put stress on different words in that phrase.
那除了重复一个单字的音节或者是拉长母音之外，口级也包含了重复词语或者是片语。也就是说，这两个单字呢，会有两个单字或者是以上组成而成的 discourse unit， 也就是这篇课文提到的 phrase。那 phrase 是名词，指的就是片语或者是一句话。要小心不要跟另外一个字搞混咯，就是 phase P-H-A-S-E， 它是指的是阶段或者是方面的意思。那 phrase 才是句子。
Yeah, don't forget that R. Well, back to the article, it says, in some social situations, stuttering can get worse. Uh-oh. This might include speaking in front of a group or talking on the phone. On the other hand, activities such as singing and reading aloud can help make it better. Okay, so there are some solutions to stuttering.
Maybe, you can practice speaking in front of a lot of people.
Yeah,
does that help?
Well, that I guess maybe practice speaking in front of people. Yeah, it could help you overcome your anxieties about speaking. So the article used the word situation here. A situation is a set of circumstances in which one finds oneself. A state of affairs. What does that mean? Well, a situation is a thing that is happening. It's a very general word and just explains that something is going on. The word itself has no positive or negative meaning, but we often use it in a negative way. A situation means something that has gone wrong or is even dangerous. We seldom use this word to mean something good has happened. A situation is usually a bad thing. Here's an example.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. An example situation could be, it's okay to wear a hat in most situations, but you should always take it off when you sit down to dinner.
Because it's only the polite thing to do.
Exactly.
那最后呢，课文就说，在有些时候，这样口疾的状况可能会更严重，像是可能要在很多人面前讲话，或者是讲电话等等。Situation 是名词，指的就是一个处境或者是一个情况，有点像是发生什么事的感觉。What is going on? What is the situation right now? 那通常呢，用到这个字的时候，都会有一点像是困境的感觉。For example, when your friends ask you to pick a side, you might say, "You're putting me in a very difficult situation here." 但是课文呢，就告诉我们 ，on the other hand， 在另一方面来说，那做一些其他的活动，像是唱歌啊，或者是阅读，都可以帮助我们改善这样子的问题。
So far we've learned that stuttering affects the way you speak. It can make you repeat words, sounds, or phrases. And sometimes stuttering becomes worse when you're speaking in front of people.
A lot of people, yeah. Social situations.
Yeah, I've definitely met people who aren't super confident socializing, and it can affect the way they speak. But there may be some cures, maybe singing or
reading out loud.
Reading out loud, yeah, it can maybe help your brain overcome the stutters. Well, tomorrow we'll learn more about this condition and hopefully some more possible treatments. But for now, let's go to our For You chat question.
For You chat.
So today's For You chat question is exactly about what we've been discussing. Nikki, do you ever have trouble with stuttering? How do you deal with it?
I think when I'm speaking Chinese, Mandarin, I don't have that problem.
Okay.
But when I'm speaking French,
Oh.
I stutter a lot.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because I'm not super familiar with the grammar and the words, so I need to think a lot before I speak.
Right. Maybe your brain is like working harder when you're speaking French.
Yeah, they're trying to pieces everything together.
Yeah, and then send it to your mouth, and then your mouth is doing a lot of work, like your tongue and your teeth and your lips. It's a lot for your brain to deal with, and sometimes the result could be stuttering.
Exactly. So I think how I deal with it, I do a lot of practices. Yeah, and to memorize everything before I speak.
Right. Okay, that's good advice. For me, sometimes I stutter actually in English. And I find that it usually happens when I'm very, very tired. If my brain and my body
doesn't keep up.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Reese, you've done too much talking today. you need to shut up and rest. In those situations, I really stutter a lot. And I have to just kind of stop and take a break before I continue.
Or just start texting.
Yeah, I'll just write it down and show them the message instead.
Exactly.
Yeah, stuttering can be very frustrating, and I think everybody's had some experience with it, but for some people, it's a lot more serious. Anyway, you guys can think about this question. Have you ever had a problem with stuttering? How did you deal with it? How serious was your stutter? Maybe you have some friends or family members who have a serious problem with stuttering. But for now, that's all we have. We'll see you tomorrow when we'll learn more about this condition.
Vocabulary Review.
Smoothly. Johnny works as a news broadcaster. He speaks clearly and smoothly. Muscle. Bobby goes to the gym often, so she can develop strong muscles. Tighten. Peter could tell Kamala was scared by the way she kept tightening her body. Vocabulary. Vocabulary. Kayla's Japanese vocabulary is very small, so she needs to spend more time learning new words. Phrase. From time to time is a common phrase, which is used to express something that happens sometimes. Situation. Billy's parents separated, which stopped them from fighting. His home situation has since become more peaceful and stable.
智慧小补帖
Stuttering.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net